And I thought it didn't go with the theme, but the more and more I think about it, it does. Trigger warning for anybody that needs it. It does. It's gonna get a little deep, and it's called The Cost of Survival. I spent 15 years running a gauntlet with 6 teenage girls every Monday and Thursday morning before the sun would rise. My endurance levels would be battle tested. 15 years working with traumatized teenage girls will teach you bad behavior is usually just pain with terrible public relations. I learned not to ask why a child keeps running until I know what taught her staying was dangerous. There was one girl who ran every time we scheduled her to see the gynecologist. Appointment after appointment, and she would be gone. We thought she was refusing health care. Turns out she was refusing to surrender the only weapon nobody could take from her. See, before she came to us, men trafficked her, turned a child's body into inventory, made purchase orders out of predators, and somehow she was the product society kept returning to the shelf. Her body caught diseases because nobody caught the men. By the time she reached us, infection had become strategy. The other girls teased her about the smell, called her dirty, and she knew she smelled, knew they laughed, knew humiliation was waiting every time she entered a room, but humiliation was safer than being wanted. Because somewhere along the way, she discovered when her body was sick, men left it alone. Do you hear me? Disease had better consent practices than grown-ass men. Bacteria respected boundaries her traffickers wouldn't. So she turned infection into protection, made sickness a security system, her body a house condemned just so nobody would try to move in. And we kept trying to cure what she had learned to use as a weapon. Every test came back positive, except the one asking whether anybody had ever protected her. Positive for infection, negative for safety, positive she needed treatment, negative the treatment felt anything like rescue. See, I thought healthy meant safe. She knew better. To her, healthy meant desirable. Desirable meant profitable. Profitable meant somebody might put a price tag back on her body. So every time we said, we're going to make you better, trauma translated, we're going to make you marketable again. Maybe that's what we never understood. She wasn't trying to become worthless. She was trying to become worth less to the men who kept calculating her value by what they could take from her. My God, what kind of childhood teaches a girl to weaponize her own suffering? How many times does no have to be ignored before infection becomes the loudest boundary her body knows how to draw? Maybe she wasn't destroying herself. Maybe she was engineering survival with whatever materials trauma left behind. And isn't that the ugliest mathematics? When a child calculates sick is safer than sexy, smelly is safer than desirable, disease is safer than men. We were trying to save her life. She was trying to save her body. Neither of us understood why those had become two very different things. Everybody loves a survival story. We applaud the living like breathing means they got out for free. Nobody asked to see the receipt. Nobody asked what survival charged them for staying alive, but survival always sends an invoice. And some children spend the rest of their lives paying interest on debts somebody else's violence put in their name, and some debts don't disappear when the danger does. Imagine surviving childhood only to discover your body kept the receipts that long after you've learned you were never what happened to you. Your body may still carry evidence of somebody else's crime. What a cruel lesson to discover healing and healed are not always the same thing. How are you expected to heal when healing can't always return you to the body you had before somebody hurt it? I don't know where she is now. I hope she learned how to live beautifully. But years later, I'll still carry the equation, still wonder how many girls we call difficult, dirty, fast, troubled, self-destructive, when what we're really actually witnessing is a child building a fortress out of everything that tried to kill her. My dream for the world is where she never needed to build the fucking fortress in the first place.